This is Irontrader, and this is the last call of the day and of the week here. So we're going to take a look here at crude oil, at natural gas, gold, silver, Bitcoin, and then we'll look here at the old indexes, but we're going to do a daily and a weekly chart on pretty much everything here today, so it gives you a good gist of everything. At the end of the video, the support and resistance levels are posted for crude and natural gas, along with the Baker Hughes rig count. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Alrighty, here we have crude oil, your daily and your weekly chart. Now you can see here how this 8-day is holding up here very, very nicely. Okay, now just remember, nothing has been solved here. Now Iran came out there today and they said they're not only going to keep on bombing with the Straits of Hormuz, they're going to go to where every kind of tourist site they might be trying to bomb. Okay, and believe me, that's not a good look. That's not going to work. That's not going to work good here. So oil could barely spike up very, very nicely here over the weekend. We'll have to see how that's going to shake out. But eventually, I think it's going to come down. We're going to have a correction here in oil, but there's still a lot of issues kind of that are going on here with this war issue. We got to see how this all unfolds, okay? So right now, on the downside, you want to watch that 8-day 95.79 level. That's going to be very, very key. Today's low, we had 92.47. Yesterday, we had 92.10, and then we come down to the bottom of that candle at that 91.45 level. We lose it, we're going to come right here to the top of this candle. You're looking at 88.99, and then the bottom there, 88.61, and then we could venture right down to the bottom here at that 81.79, and then right here, this is the big target here, this 82.23, if this does come down. But that also could be a good buying opportunity kind of a situation if it does fall off like that. Now, your next level is going to be right there at that 76.73 level, and then we follow it down 74.97, and then we come down here to 73.28. Then we have your 50-day at 70.68. Now, just remember last time when we had this situation, this was Iran-Israel situation. What we had is 78.40, and then the next day it bottomed out here at 64. So you lost $14 like right now. Okay, so if you lose $14 off of here, okay, you should probably come right down to here, pretty close to that 21-day 8 SMA here. But again, we have to lose that key 8 simple moving average in order to do that situation. Now, upside, we're looking at today's high 98.51. We'll look at yesterday's high at that 148 level, and then we come up here all the way to the top at 102.44. That's going to be a big retest there, just like this 119. Now we start cracking above that, then right here is your next target. It's going to be 105.05, and then we come up here to 111.45. We'll come up there 114.05, and then we can just venture on here to that 119.48, and then 120 level. Then we have 123.68, and then 130.50 level. If you can break out above that 119. Now we don't know what's going to happen over the weekend, so a short is definitely not the trade that you want to go. Now, eventually, I think oil is going to come off. It's going to come off hard, and I think we're going to come all the way down to that 21-day. But I really think that could be a good buying opportunity in here to take it right back up again. I don't see this where this problem is going to be solved here like overnight. Now, the Dow is down over 400, S&P is down, and the Nasdaq is down here all over 400 points here. Now, I've been calling for a 5 to 10% correction, and right now, if you look at the Dow, okay, what do we have? You're already down. You got the 10% correction, just like what I was saying. Now, again, I'm going to show you here at the end of this video here on the Dow, the S&P, and the Nasdaq. If we start losing these key levels here, you can take that 10% correction, turn that to a 15, maybe even a 20% correction here. Okay, so don't have any kind of opinion right now on crude oil. Just watch that key level, that 95.79 level. That's going to be very, very critical. We lose that there, then we can come right down. Your big target is going to be that 82.23. Now here, right there, again, 102.44. Okay, here's your big target. It's going to be that 119.48. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Alrighty, here we have natural gas. Remember, contract roll comes out starts on the 22nd here, which will be Sunday. Okay, so right here, what we got going right there. You're looking at that 304. That's your key support. That's your 21-day, and right here, your key resistance is 3.13. That is your 8-day SMA. So we're trading in that range. If we get above that key 8 SMA here, well, then it's pretty simple. We just come up top of there. You're looking at 3.21. We'll look up there at 3.27. This march the candles all the way up to 3.31. But realistically, what you're looking for is that 50-day sitting at 3.45. And then we have your 200-day at 3.55. And then we come to the top of that candle right there at 373. The bottom there at 381. And then we're looking for that 100-day at 386. Okay, that's very, very simple. Downside right here, if you lose that 304, just look at here at that 292 level, and then we come down here at 289, 286, and a retest down at 277. So realistically, you're sitting pretty much in the middle of these price channels. See that? Your price channel is 3.49 on high, 277 on the bottom. So we're sitting dead nuts here in the center. So if it rallies up here, just look for that price channel on the upside. Look for that 277 on the downside. Pretty simple. Okay. Now here we go. Look at here on a weekly chart. You can see here how the 8-day rolled over. Let me bigger up there. Okay, see how the 8-day rolled over here, and now the 50-day, 200-day. This is just looking ass ugly here. There's nothing bullish about this. You're gonna need a catalyst, something that's gonna pop it up or pop it down, kind of a situation. Now here's what we have on the upside on the weekly is 3.23 level, and then we're looking right there at that 3.29, that 8-day. If we get above that, we have the big targets here at that 50-day and 100-day. But right now, there just isn't any catalyst here to take it. You're in that shoulder season, and that's pretty much where we stand, kind of a situation. Now they did blow up a plant there in I think it was in Qatar. So that's not a good situation. But then again, it is what it is now. U.S. and Israel vowed not to hit any more of those gasolines or natural gas or any kind of a structure like that in Iran. But again, how this plays out is, only God knows, going to see how this is all going to shake out here. So again, just watch here that key 21-day on the bottom and that key 8-day on the top. Okay, we cracked that up. We know exactly where to go. We just look at the price channels, 349 on high side, 277 there on the old down side. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold. Okay, gold had a little bit of run up yesterday, but again, one day does not make a market. And you can see we had a bottoming tail yesterday. We put in that low of 45.05. Today we put a low in at 45.33. So we do have a double bottom situation, but you are below all your simple moving averages except for your 200-day. Okay, so what we're watching on the downside is we watched yesterday's low, 45.05. This is going to be a very, very key level right here. That's that retest of that 44.23 once you sold right on down. Now, if we start losing that here, all we do is bring this price channel across. There's your next big target. Is going to be 42.84, and then we just bring this price channel right across here. There's your next target at 41.97, and then we were looking all the way down here to that 4,089 level. Okay, now you can see how the 8-day cross the 21-day, cross the 50-day, we're rolling down hard. Okay, so again, upside here, we're looking at that 100-day at that 45.97 level. Now again, all we do is just do the reverse. If we get above that, right there, 46.90 level. And then what we do is we can just come up here to today's high. You're looking at that 47.38 level, okay? And then we come here to the bottom of that candle, 47.79. And then we're looking right to the bottom of there at 48.09. And then the top, 48.68. And then we'll be looking for that 8-day at 49.14. And then that 200-day, and then that 21-day. But this is going lower. That's just how this looks. This is just rolling over that uptrending chart here. We lost that 50-day. That tells me that's that first red flag. Okay, second red flag. That 8-day crossed over that 21-day and over 50-day. This is just going lower. Now we're getting to an area here where we get to a possible oversold condition, but we're not there yet. The same way here. It just looks like it just wants to go lower. So just watch these two key levels here, 45.05 level, and watch that level right there at 44.23. Okay, now here we look at a weekly chart. Okay, so you can see the big uptrending situation. Okay, but what we had this negative divergence. That's why RSI it works out very good. It doesn't measure relative strength. It also measures divergences. Okay, so we have a high here and we have a lower high. Okay, what do we have here? High and a higher high. That's negative divergence going on here. And now you can see how she's just rolling right over. Now we lost that 21-day. That's not good. That's not good at all. So your next target is going to be right there. It's going to be that 43.92 level. And then we can come all the way down here. If we lose that 4,089 here, you can come all the way down here to that 39.61 very, very easily. Now you can see here how that green crossed over your red. That's very, very negative. This is negative. Losing this here is negative. And this whole situation here is negative. I just think gold is going to be coming down here lower. But again, what you want to do is look for a buying opportunity, just not today. Okay, let's take a look at silver. Okay, here we have silver, your daily and your weekly chart here. Okay, so I always put these side by sides and gives you a really good look. Now, yesterday we put that bottoming tail, and it was just a beautiful scalp up, but you got to know when the hell to get out of it. Okay, so silver was a really good trade for me yesterday, and then today there was no trade because this thing just came right on off here. I just trade on the long side SLV, but you notice we do have an inside day. So what you're watching is today's low at 68.50 level, but this is going to be the key right down here is 65.55, and then right here is going to be very, very critical. This is that retest of 63.90. Now we start losing that area here, we do have support here, but realistically, this is where you're going is at 56.72. And again, if it gets down this area, this could be a very, very good buying opportunity because that would get this to an overbought situation. In the same way with the MACD, that would look very, very good. Okay. Now on the upside, you got to get back and gotta get right back to that 72.59 level. If we can, then we come right up here to 74.62, and then right there is your 8-day. Okay, that's big resistance. Your 21-day, big resistance, and then obviously your 50-day at 86, big time resistance here. But right now, this looks like it just wants to go lower. We do have an inside day here, so again, Sunday night when the future's open, watch that 65.55, and then watch this key level right here, 63.90. That's going to be very, very critical. And then all the way down here, if we lose it, 56.72. Okay, now you can see here on the weekly chart, we lost the 21-day. Last time we came, we held it. This time here, nothing here. So again, that's what we're going to be watching is the bottom of that candle, that 63.90. If not, you could venture much lower. Now you look at where that 50-day is. That's below this 56, where that could come all the way on there. Now again, if silver got all the way down here, I think that would be a really good buying opportunity, and I'd be definitely taking positions here on that SLV right there. And if it got even lower, I would add to that position. Now you can see here we got to an bought condition kind of a situation. And then what we have is we got that selling right on off here. The green crossed over your red. That shows that this is just wants to go lower. So realistically, I'm kind of looking for, if we lose that area, I'm looking for that 200-day, and I'm looking for that possible 50-day. But I think SLV would be just a really, really good buying opportunity to buy it there and take it long. Remember, all these data centers, they're going to be really needing a lot of silver to get all this equipment and everything rolling here. Okay, so just always remember that. Okay, let's take a look here now at Bitcoin. Alrighty, here we have Bitcoin, and overall, I think it's hanging in here, not all that bad. Okay, now you can see here we lost this key 8 SMA, and that's not good. 79.33 level. Remember today, I believe is quad witching, so you're going to have a big wild ending of this market here. Right now, we're just getting hammered, just bleeding red out here, and I just hope that everyone listens to me and talk about getting a correction here. And here it is. Okay, we're sitting here now, and I'm going to show you a little bit here. If we start losing this, where we're actually going to be going. Okay, so right now we're holding that 21-day at 69.670 level. We lose it, we'll come down to yesterday's low, 68.835, and then we'll be looking right here at bottom of that candle at 65.85, and then right here 6,500 flat. Okay, then we have 62.590, 60,005. We lose that. 200 days is going to be very, very key. Now, if we start losing that, then here's your big target. It's going to be at 49,365 level, which could be a really, really good buying opportunity. Now, again, this is not oversold. The green is still over your red, but it's kind of curling over here. The weekly looks good. It's just that you can see here how that 21-day rolled over, 8-day rolled over. I don't see anything that's what you call, I say, this is really bullish, even though we are still uptrending. Now, we have to get back above this 8-day, 71.658. That's going to be key. And then we just look to the bottom of this candle right here. Okay, you're looking at 73.305. And then we look to the top there at 74.895. Then we'll be looking right here for that 50-day at 76.375. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. And again, if you can get above that, we have this gap up here at 79.660. And then we have that fill. But realistically, you'd probably be heading right here for that 84,521 level here. But again, you've got a lot of resistance here. And then if you can get above that 21-day, we have that 100-day. So everything is down like a waterfall down here. So right now, you're just being basically right between that 21-day and that 8-day. So right now, it just is just a trader's market. But if we start losing this 21-day, you're probably going to be definitely retest that. You probably retest that, and you could possibly even retest that 200-day very, very easily, kind of a situation. Let's see how the market all shakes out. Okay, let's take a look here now at the old indexes. We'll take a look at the Dow. Okay, here we have the Dow. That was your target right there, 50,512. Take 10% off. What do we got? Right down here, you're right down at this level here, just like I said, okay? So I just hope everyone listening that says, hey, don't listen to these morons on CNBC or Bloomberg and tell you they're going to have a rally here because you're oversold. Yeah, are we oversold? Yeah, but you can get way more oversold than this here too. Because you look at the weekly chart, our daily chart, this is oversold. You're due for a bounce, no question about it. But look at the weekly. This is nowhere near oversold. This could go run all the way on down here, all the way down to that 100-day very, very easily. Okay, so now what we did is if you look at this chart, look what we lost here. Okay, you can see how that 8-day crossed over, 21-day crossed over. This is a red flag. When you see that 8-day crosses that 21-day, that's a red flag. That tells you this is going lower. And then basically what you do, see how, look at this. Look at this, how you're fighting it the whole way. Yeah, did you penetrate it, but you can't get through it. You can't close above it. Look how strong that 8-day is. That's why I say set your charts up like what I have here. 8, 21-day, 50-day, 100-day, 200-day. Keep it simple. These blue lines are just price channels, RSI, and MACD. That's all you need. You don't need 50 indicators. All that does is you're just spending time looking for something that isn't there. That's the key, okay? So the key is you want to make money at trading. You don't want to be spending all your time just sitting there watching different indicators and all this nonsense. Don't let anybody try to sell you this crap. You can go to Schwab and get these Thinkorswim charts with any indicator you want. They got like, I don't know, 200 of them, and you can put anything you want in there for free. That's the key. Trading for free, okay? That's what you want to do. All right, now you can see here, big ass red candle coming all the way on down here, okay? So what we're looking for here is right here. This is, you can see here, today's low was, what are we looking at here? At 45,509. So basically, we just want to look right over here to the left of the chart. You got 45,452 level. So that is going to be your support level, okay? Then what we can do is we can just drop it right on down. We can bring the price channel across. You got 49,948. We come across here. We have 44,579, and then we have this level all the way down here at that 43,340. Now, the key, what I want to show you here is this key 50-day here on your weekly chart. This is going to be very, very key level here, okay? So when you look at this, it's got to hold this here by the end of the day, 45,665 level. Right now, you are definitely below that situation, okay? So that is not a good situation. But again, even if it comes down here and holds it, we got to see how that shakes out Monday. If we can get back above it instantly, then we're really good. If we're not going to get back above that situation, okay, then what you're going to have is you're going to head right for here for this 100-day at 43,651 here. Okay, very, very simple. So just remember that, and you could come all the way down to the retest of this big breakout that we had, and you can come all the way down to the 200-day, and you can come all the way down here. You're 36,661 very, very easily, and that would give you a good 20% correction. But right now we have a 10% correction, just like what I was saying, 5 to 10%. You know, I say that's what you're looking for, and this is what we have. There's nothing bullish about this chart. Nothing. Zero. Donut. Okay, everything is absolute waterfall situation. So it's going to take something here. You know, again, if they could have some kind of a solution to that war, then I would say yes. They have some kind of solution to get that oil, where oil would sell off here, maybe even next week or the week after. If oil would sell off, then yes, then you can take this market up here. But right now, this is just an absolute waterfall, and you have to face reality a lot of times. Markets don't go up forever. You have a big, big run here, but then when you see this consolidation and you see that topping situation, and you see everybody on the floor here wearing, hats that say 50K, and that lasted, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, if that, and then all of a sudden now the hats are back in the closet, and this is just rolling right on over here. And that's usually what happens, okay? So just remember that. But this is the key level here. Watch that 50-day. If we lose that 50-day, we can come right down here with not a problem here, all the way down to that 100-day very simply. Okay, let's take a look here now at the S&P. Okay, here we have the S&P. So if you take the 7,000, you see where we are now. We have about a 7% correction going here so far, okay? But now what we did is we lost that 200-day. But what I want to show you here is this 50-day on the weekly chart, okay? This is going to be very, very key. You need to hold that 64.58 level, okay? So we have a ways to go yet, but really not that much, okay? So we got to see if we can hold that situation, okay? If not, what we do is we just go right to the left of the chart here. But realistically, what you're going to be looking at here is this 100-day next at 6,067 if we lose that 50 SMA here, okay? So then I'll give you your 10% correction with not a problem, okay? So again, we're getting to close to a oversold condition the same way on a daily, but you can see here this is nowhere near on a weekly. So you have to get back above. You got to somehow get cranking back here above this 200-day at 66.21, and then we're going to hit that 8-day. But you look at this, it's the same as a Dow. Absolute waterfall situation. Look what's going on here, okay? So you're heading all the way on down, and there's nothing bullish about this chart, okay? To say instantly, okay, it's oversold. This is not oversold yet on a weekly chart. This could come very, very much lower here. And if we start losing this 50-day on a weekly chart here, this is going to be your next target, and you can come all the way down to 667. Very, very easy. If we lose that, you can come all the way down here to this 51.78 with not a problem, okay? So just always, always, always remember, see what's going on here. Don't just say, oh, it's selling here, I'm going to go there and buy it. No, no, no. Don't do that. That's not a way to go. You got to get back above this key 200-day in order to get right back to that 8-day. But you can see the waterfall situation, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing bullish about this scenario here. Okay, so you didn't even close above the 7,000. You tagged it, and then you couldn't get above it. And that's what tells me that this is going lower because you have a high, lower high, lower high, lower high. And what happens? Boom. And then you get the 8-day that crosses over, the 21-day crosses over. That just says this is just going lower. Now, we are due for a bounce. Don't get me wrong. But what we have, we got to get and hold that 64.58 level. Now, next week on Sunday, you could have a really big down scenario. But then again, if they can get that oil signal, that you could have a huge rally off of this here too. So again, don't have any opinion. If it can bounce off that 64.58, then we can rally up higher again, kind of a situation. But I just think that rally is going to be short-lived, and then it's going to come right back down here because we're going to have some massive inflation unless they get this oil and all the situation under control. Okay, let's take a look here now at the NASDAQ. Okay, here we have the NASDAQ. Now, we tagged that 2,400, 24,000 level. We retested that with 23,998. There was your double top and came right on off here. Now, again, the correction, if you take 24,000 and you take 10% off of it, right here we are, okay? We were down 10% so far, okay? See how simple that is, okay? So don't, I should say again, I'm just stressing, just trade the charts. Let the charts tell you. Charts don't lie. People do. That's the key. That's why I trade this. I don't listen to all this nonsense, okay? Now what we're watching is going to be this key 50 SMA here, is that 21,506. That's going to be very, very critical. That needs to hold. If we lose that, then we'll come right here to the top of this candle at 20,204. That'll be your next big target. And then we're going to come right here to that 100-day at 19,829 level, okay? So again, this 10%, 5-10% correction can turn into a 15-20% very, very easily unless we get some kind of a relief here. Now you look at the RSI here. This is not oversold yet. This is not oversold yet. This is not oversold, and this is not oversold. So we could be downtrending a lot more kind of a situation. Okay, so if this keeps right on rolling, just watch this 50-day here on the weekly chart. That's going to be the key. If we lose it, then just look to the top of that candle right there. And if not, we come right there to that 19,829 level. That is going to be your downside target situation, okay? So when we look at this chart here, you have to get right back above that 200-day. But now look at this 8-day, okay? You're already crossing that 200-day. 21-day. This is going to be very, very difficult to come right up here and say, okay, I'm going to blow through, because all you have to do is look in the past. What has happened here? It stopped it cold. Once you lose the 8-day, it goes into 21-day and comes right on down. So you could get a relief rally here if we have some kind of a positive news. There's no question about it. But if we don't, and this keeps on continuing, you're going to not only lose that 50-day, but you're going to come all the way down to there, down to this 100 SMA here very, very easily. Now, all that being said, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to say, hey, don't get caught being at the top. But, big but here, once this rally, this sell-off ends, you're going to have some really, really good buying opportunities. So make a list of stuff that you want to buy on the cheap. Now look at NVIDIA. Okay, NVIDIA is down to 173. It looks like it's going to go lower. Amazon down to 205. Meta's down to 490. Microsoft 381. Apple's 349. Google 299. Palantir's 150. Okay, look at all the good stuff. Look at Tesla just getting hammered there at 368. Now check my midday video. I did it on Tesla there today. Okay, so check out. I did it on Tesla on there, on UPS, FedEx, and Meta. Check out all and see exactly where the support levels are. But make a list. I'll be buying here that TQQQ, which is a nice, good basket of everything. Okay, so what I'm doing is waiting for the sell-off to go. Once it holds, if it holds here, then I can jump in. Okay, now if again it keeps right on going, then we can jump in here. But again, if this reverses, just remember you got strong resistance on up here, but we can make money wherever this stops and then take it right back up here. I think you can have a really good rip your face off rally if we can get some kind of a clarity going on there in the Middle East. Okay, so don't look at that negative. Look at it. Wow, I am buying all these great stocks on the cheap. That's how you have to look at it. Don't look at it in a negative way. All right. That's what I got for you. I'll be back here Sunday night. I'll have a video for you at 7 o'clock as usual. And remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.